Hi, and welcome to another episode of the all new TTown 411 report. I'm your host, Darren McKinstry. We're broadcasting live from McKinstry Banquet Hall, as well as from Sound Booth Radio 106.1 and Sound Booth TV. Mike, tell them how can they join in on Sound Booth Radio and Sound Booth TV.
Sure thing, Daryl. Get up with us on Radio Side Sound Booth Radio. Just go to your iOS or your Google Play Store, download the Live 365 app, and once you download that free app, then you type in Sound Booth Radio 106.1. That'll get you on with us on the radio side, Sound Booth Radio. You check us out on Sound Booth TV. Just go to YouTube or Facebook Live and type in Sound Booth Radio 106.1 or Sound Booth TV. That'll get you on with us on Sound Booth TV.
Mike, I just want to thank you, man, for each and every week for joining in on the program. Keeping the program going each and every week right here on the T-Town 411 report. We're Facebook Live and we're also on YouTube now on Mike's channel. So if you want to chime in on YouTube channel, Sound Booth Radio and Sound Booth TV, please do so. I thought I want to say hello to Daniel Van Horn for thank you for chiming in. We got 6 people and jumped on board with us already. Before we do that, I'll wait on our COVID update from Veronica Taylor before we do that. But tonight I thought it was very important, Mike, that we listen to the State of the Union from our president, Mr. Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, and see what was on the agenda. He talked a lot about unity amongst the American people and unity amongst us for supporting the Ukraine people also. Want to say hello to Kai Porter. How you doing, sir? Evening, fellas and sisters. When, if y'all come in. Yeah. Well, we just came on, Kai. We just came on. Want to hear the State of the Union address from our president. So before we go any further, I guess we'll go ahead and take a quick break. Give Veronica a few minutes to give us the update on the COVID, and then we'll be right back. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right?
Sound like playing.
Good.
Get your event jumping with Caroline Shines and Impulse Band. Impulse Band has been together for over 7 years, and they haven't missed a beat yet. The band has and will play in various venues and doesn't mind traveling to you. Being led by Alabama Blues Hall of Famer herself, Mrs. Caroline Shine. Impulse has opened up for Bobby Rush, L.J. Eccles, Tank, Fantasia, Calvin Richardson, just to name a few. The Impulse Band will surely fit your need for entertainment. Dial 205-887-6859 or 205-887-5026. Or you can just email them at shinesbrightly@yahoo.com. Caroline Shines and Impulse, the band made just for you.
Hello? Hey, Rick. I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother? I went down to Thomas Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there, I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie. And I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. Oh, all I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Rib Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Fly, fly, fly. Scoochie, huh? I drink till I'm drunk.
Fellas, head on down to New Generation Barber Shop, right off of 2600 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite C. Go ahead and get you a fly cut from my boy Fred Brown. You can hit him up at 205-292-4995. Also Sam Brown at 205-722-8506. And how can I forget about my boy Amp the Barber? Hit him up at 205-561-7473. Check him out, y'all.
Take a pic, I might as well. Hell, drop the top and take a selfie. My country.
For over 27 years here in Tuscaloosa, Catfish Heaven has been pleasing our taste buds with their delicious catfish, pan trout, hot wings, coleslaw, hush puppies, and don't forget about those made-to-order French fries. Whether it's your snack time, lunchtime, or dinner time, give the guys a call over at Catfish Heaven at 205-752-7222, or you can make your order online at catfishheaventuscaloosa.com. So head on over to Catfish Heaven at 2502 21st Street. See you there.
Head on down to Archibald and Woodrow, some of the best barbecue in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, y'all. Right off of 4125 Greensboro Avenue, Tuscaloosa, Alabama 35405. You can hit them up at 205-331-4858. Also, you can find them at their other location, 1211 Martin Luther King Boulevard, Northport, Alabama 35476. 205-345-6861.
Tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama.
Well, we're back. We want to thank our sponsors of the program each and every week that chime in with us right here on the TTown 411 report. Veronica has provided us with the COVID-19 update as of to 3:31 today on March the 1st, 2022. 24 inpatients with DCA system are positive for COVID-19. 5 or fewer are positive for COVID-19 and are being treated in ICU. 5 or fewer inpatients positive for COVID-19 on ventilators. Of those in the hospital, 11 are fully vaccinated and 13 are unvaccinated or not fully vaccinated. Once again, I want to thank Veronica for each and every week providing us with the COVID-19 update provided by the DCH Health System's internal counts. As always, we say a quick prayer for everyone, a quick prayer for the ones that are sick and those that are needing healing. If you would just join me for a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to share conversation. Heavenly Father, we ask that you continue to watch over our essential workers, all the nurses and doctors and receptionists and housekeeping and food service people and everyone that's working at the hospital. Keep watch over them and their families. Heavenly Father, they ask that you, while they're in the hospital right now, that you heal those right now. We're asking for a healing for those that are sick in need of healing right now, Heavenly Father. Right now, we ask that you go with the ones that have passed away. Bless their families. Continue to lead them and let them know that you're in charge, Heavenly Father. We want to say a special prayer for all our governmental officials. We want to say a special prayer for our police and fire and all our public safety people. Right now, I'm asking for a prayer for my family and Mike Wilson family and everyone else that's on this program family right now. We're asking for a special blessing for all the bereavement families right now, Heavenly Father. We know that you're in charge. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Just want to pray for everybody. I tell you, this is a time of prayer. This is an opportunity that we come together also. And as the president, if those of you that watched the State of the Union, as the president continued to say, an opportunity for unity in our community. Mike, CARES Act money. One thing that stood out about the CARES Act money is that the president said that the money can be used to hire local law enforcement officers as well as things for the people. Use that money for the people. I didn't hear him say anything about building prisons. I didn't hear anything about use that money wisely for whatever your personal agendas are. But I did hear him say you can use that CARES Act money for public safety, law enforcement officers, and for the people. For the people.
But Darryl, we actually talked about that one time before when the CARES money came in. We was saying that they should give our drivers some sort of bonus, big bonuses or raises through the CARES Act. And of course, initially they were going to give them, I want to say like $500. You remember? I forgot exactly how much it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it was a certain amount for certain people in certain positions.
Yeah, it was, and they wound up denying it when it was all said and done. So, and then we still have $10 million worth of CARES money here in Tuscaloosa. For some reason, they're not using the CARES money for everything that it should be used for. We talked about this last week and week before last with the water rates. Of course, you got people out here that they saying that they have these extremely high water bills, but you got $10 billion worth of funds from the CARES Act that could go toward those water bills to help those people get caught up on their water bill.
Mm-hmm. We got Veronica Taylor on the program with us. Go ahead, Veronica.
Hey, Mike. Hi there. How about y'all doing?
Great, great,
No,
great.
pretty good.
I didn't hear him say anything about using the money for personal agendas and things that were in the works or in the wants before the pandemic either. And he did say law enforcement when he completely said not funding the police wasn't the answer. And honestly, my thing is, if you're going to fund the police, fund the training, fund more police officers, because like we already said, the training can only go so far. The heart is where it's really at. And people just, if the people want to do evil, they want to do evil, whether they're bad or not. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, since they say training is what's wrong with people, then what type of training are you going to have? Training with how to deal with those in communities you never are in, but you're just working in. Mm-hmm. Well, use it for the training. Use it to hire more officers, since it seems to be that the police officers have been short-staffed for a long time in a lot of areas. So if they feel like the stress of it is a direct reflection of them being understaffed at times, then how about use it to hire a sufficient number, an efficient number, and to get the proper training and the mental evaluations, not just the training, the evaluations. Because like I said, you can only train, you can't train racism without anybody. Mm-hmm. You can't train hate out of anybody, and you can't train an evil act out of anybody. So since you got people on the force for 25 years mistaking tasers for handguns, though they weigh quite significantly different. Why not use it to train properly, to also hire those and to do mental evaluations and other tests and make them accountable instead of making the taxpayers pay when they go out and act up and do it? Because he did say to hold them accountable.
Yes.
So make them accountable, especially if they've been trained. Is trained the correct way, because a lot of them do say they don't get correct training or enough training, and that's me. Yeah, we can say that for a lot of jobs. Mm-hmm. So if they've gotten the correct training, we've done our part as is in the hiring and then make them accountable. Just like the incident in Birmingham where they said that the city was only going to be responsible for $300,000 of that suit, and I think that suit was $3 million. So that officer was responsible. So if you do all that, if you're saying fund them, you don't fund them doesn't mean going to get all these artillery weapons like in the military to me. But it seems like that's what some of the officers want when they say funding.
Right. And I agree with you 100%. I mean, far as funding could go along as well as training how to deal with our communities. The president mentioned something in relation to community policing.
Mental health evaluations, and not just initially, but throughout.
Yes.
Every so often, it needs to be, just like nurses have to go and have so many continuing education credits to get our license renewed. Mm-hmm. Officers should have to have some type of continuing training and pass tests, mental evaluations.
Mm-hmm. I agree. The mental
retrain.
Because they do say that they're stressed. So if they're stressed, why not want to take the evaluations and get help if the professional team deems fit.
Yes, I mean that makes absolute sense to me. With my past experience, I can absolutely say that's one part of training that we don't get or didn't get. I mean, yeah, you get recertified in shooting, handcuffing, all your defense mechanism, car driving, hazmat process, but nothing mentally, no training mentally evaluation for as what's going on with the individuals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you get hired, they want you to do a hire. They want you to go through a mental evaluation. So why not another mental evaluation throughout the process? And that's a good answer that you added to that. Mental evaluations biannually or 5 years.
And especially, like you say, earmark it. They love the earmark money. Earmark it for that.
Yes.
That would be a great thing. If we got 10 million, you got cities and states or whatever locations, locales with $10 million of money that they're trying to build prisons with. The only way I see that money going to a prison is if they're gonna. Now, some of these living conditions that we've seen have been horrific and horrible. But my thing is, if you're gonna use that money for prisons, why are we talking about building prisons? Why are we not talking about y'all want to remodel everything else, getting these buildings that already exist together, trying to keep people out, getting programs with the CARES money is for the people to try to reroute people who are getting out of prison and to try and keep people from going to prison who haven't committed violent offenses. Because some people are in prison for selling marijuana.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know,
or smoking marijuana.
Yeah, and that's the quickest way to hem up young black people is for them to have some marijuana on them, and they wind up getting 5, 10, 15 years for it. But
and then you got some states who are abolishing it.
Right.
About it's getting rid of, it's making it legal. What about those people who are sitting there on the charge who's strictly marijuana only for 10, 15, 20 years, and the other people it's basically coming illegal. But you do have these places like Alabama that's trying to make a three-strike thing with the marijuana. So Alabama is always the one that's trying to take things backwards.
Absolutely. And as far as the prisons go, they're not going to try to do away with any prisons because they're all private sector prisons, and that's I forgot exactly, but they said it was in the billions of dollars how much money they make off those prisons.
Now we got somebody doing the GOP response talking about the president is on the wrong track. When mostly everybody in that room clapped, except when he was talking about a woman's rights. And there was another other issue where I can't think of offhand where they kind of booed or didn't like what he said or whatever. But as soon as he said fund the police, everybody wants to clap because see they don't have to deal with the police. Their young men and daughters don't have to deal with the police. Mm-hmm. My thing is if you're going to use CARES money on prisons, use it to try to hire and train more guards.
You're absolutely right.
Use it for to that, yeah. But talking about building new prisons and all this kind of stuff, no. You want to be and the one time that I was surprised that they did go against Kay was when she wanted to build the new Capitol building with the CARES money Act. Mm-hmm. What was you gonna do had not the CARES money come along with the Capitol building?
Exactly.
Why are you using it for that? That's not what it's for. You should be out here paying people's bills. Doing and the federal government helped, but the federal government also gave states and cities money to help their people.
And
but they sitting up there telling you to ask for it and apply for it. Why should you have to apply for money that was sent to your state, your city to help people? Why do you have to apply for it?
So that they can take the credit for giving it out.
And then to me, my thing is if they're going to take accountability for saying where it went, okay, well you have to apply so we can know where it went or whatever. Okay, fine. But why make people have to go through this? Take this to your landlord and tell your landlord this, and then the landlord tells that. Why make a person go through it? Like I was saying last time, some people are embarrassed to even go to the landlord. The next thing the landlord gonna do is start breathing out in it like, you gonna have your rent this week. Not being late on your rent, but because you asking them to help fill these papers so that you can get assistance with the facility. Next thing they're gonna start thinking, well, I don't have to wait on my rent, am I? They start breathing down your neck about rent, may even increase your rent. And see, and now that's so stupid to me. When people know that people are struggling for money, that's when things go. That's when they take things up.
Yeah, yeah. Inflation, inflation, inflation. Also, he mentioned about medication, putting a $35 cap on medication, especially for the elderly. I mean, we could use this money locally, this CARES Act money locally, on a variety of different ways, um, uh, even in the community. I can see utilization of the CARES Act money to rebuild the Barnes Branch YMCA. I'm gonna get back on that too. I'm not gonna let that go,
Mm-hmm.
but not rebuilding it in the parking lot of the McDonough Hughes Center. The more and more I look into that or try to look into it, I still don't hear much about it.
And I don't think that you're gonna hear anything about it until they get ready to do the actual vote. But the truth of the matter is the decision has been made. That's exactly what they plan on doing. I feel, and it really truly is. We have to kind of keep the heat on them. We tend to kind of get a little upset with each other and go back and forth with each other when we are all simply just upset with the decisions being made on the city council and by the mayor's office. We need to put that pressure back on them and let them know that, hey, we ain't pleased with what y'all doing. We definitely ain't pleased with the lines that we're drawing. We're not pleased with what you're talking about doing with the Barnes Branch YMCA. We absolutely did not want that. That's absolutely not what we asked for you to put us in a parking lot. And to me, that parking lot can't be the same. It can't be as big as where they at now. So I rather you knock it down. You need to knock it down anyway because it's probably full of asbestos. Knock it down. Build another facility there. And if you have to go up several stories, fine.
Daniel brought up a point about the task force go after misuse of funds by people being. So that sounds like prosecuting people that states, governors, individuals that's misusing funds of the CARES Act fund money too. But it also brings up: does it mean about the PPP loans?
That's what I was just about to say. If you're not going to prosecute these administrations and local municipalities and states for misuse, then how can you truly prosecute, as usual, the small man making a little bit of money?
Right.
Because that $20,000 P loan compared to these millions
Mm-hmm.
that's sitting here waiting to be forgotten about so that they can be done with other things done with them, like quite a bit of probably pocketing, then they'll come down on those people about those PPP loans 100 times quicker than they will about all these millions and millions of dollars that are just sitting here.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Deion Washington said they saying it's going to cost 900,000 to tear it down, Mike. Okay, so what? We know it's going to cost money to remove it, tear it down, and take it somewhere.
And what's going to be there when they leave it? Because it's pretty much a done deal. What's going to sit there on that corner?
It's going to
Another
be
dry piece of another piece of land just sitting
no,
on the
no,
west
no,
side.
a vacant building. So if you're not going to tear it down, I mean you're just going to leave the building like it is in distress.
Yeah, and it probably need to be torn down then because what you gonna get then?
Exactly,
Squatters. People gonna
exactly.
be drug dealers, squatters, drug users maybe, probably not the dealers, but using that facility for something. If
So
it's just left there
so
barren.
so if it costs
I
$900,000,
understand that it's going to cost money to tear it down, but they had no problem in coming up with money to tear down the Central Branch YMCA at all downtown.
no
So
sir.
I really just don't care that it costs 90,000 to tear one down when it's supposed to be $10 million allocated to the new one. So
They can use CARES money to tear it down.
$10 million on our facility.
No excuses, no excuses. Stop making excuses, excuses, excuses. Because if you leave it there, then what? What do it become then? It's city property, so this, you know. how can you prosecute or persecute people that's in West End with their, they're uh, making people do remodeling and things, but you're gonna have a piece of property right here in the middle of the West End that's owned by the city, that's contaminated, and don't tear it down.
Hmm.
How can you go and force? How can you go and force Liberty Recycle to move and do away with their building, and then you got a city-owned building that you're not going to remove from the community itself? No, Dion, no, I'm not saying you make it.
They tear down everything else they want to tear down and redo or build up, except when it comes to something that affects the black community.
No, Dion, I'm not saying you're making the excuse. I'm just saying they making the excuse if it's gonna cost 900,000. That's just an excuse. That's just an excuse. So if they, like I said, if the money, okay, you go build somewhere else. Just go build somewhere else, but not in the parking lot of the McDonough Hughes Center. If that's the case, save the money and put them inside the McDonough Hughes Center. Once again, I say that again to say this. Why would you have two agencies serving the same community in the same parking lot? Why? That'd be just like having Mark Watley and Jackson Health Center, both right there in the same parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be just like putting Walgreens and CVS side by side in the
Well, they
parking
go.
lot, in the parking lot, though, in the parking lot, in the
They
same
just
parking
go.
lot, in the
If
same
you go,
parking
if
lot,
you go West End, that's how it was. It was Rite Aid and CVS.
in the same parking lot, but they cross the street. But we're
But
talking
yeah,
about in the
but it's not in
same
the park,
parking lot.
and that's just like putting McFarland Mall in the parking lot of University Mall.
Yes,
Well,
You know, we're gonna rebuild McFarland Mall, and it's gonna be right here over here where Regions was at, where Regions sits, right just inside of the bank where Regions, right there, right on the side of Regions. So basically, in the University Mall parking lot, that don't make sense.
exactly.
I honestly don't think people would have a problem with the facilities being located closely to each other. But like I said, it's like you're on almost on top of each other. You're in the parking lot. If there was land across the street from the McDonald's Youth Center, and they said, well, we're gonna put the wild here too. I mean, because at the end of the day, both of them will be in that district too. So if they say we're gonna put it right here, at least let them have their own parking lot, their own softball field, their own space, their own everything, instead of sitting them in there and maybe I guess stacking them 2 or 3 stories high.
I know.
And what are they gonna do? Share the baseball field with the McDonald Youth Center and the things that they have going on?
Here we go. Why not build the Benjamin Barnes Branch YMCA directly behind the White Y downtown? Do that make sense? No, that don't make
so
sense.
I mean, that would give them an excuse to go ahead and build the other two phases.
Or black on one side and white on the other?
Well, but no, I mean, they definitely wouldn't do anything like that.
All I'm saying is, come on, guys. We all know it's gonna cost money to do anything. It cost money when they tore down Central West, didn't
it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it? It cost money when they tore down the old Central East.
Anytime you tear something down, it costs money, and that is usually included in the bid for any type of remodel or restoration. That's usually
That's what like Curtis said. It's not gonna take no 900. See, that's what I wondered. Does he mean $9,000 or $900,000?
He said that. Well,
But the raised rent is 900,000.
DeAndre said
Wait,
DeAndre
yeah,
said
exactly.
Dion said
Now,
900,000.
I remember them saying that too. to tear it down. I think they were saying that when they were talking about it in that meeting when they gave it away actually. The $1 million that was earmarked for Benjamin Barnes grant, that $1 million will only take care of tearing it down, and then after that, they had to come up with more money just to build another facility.
I remember hearing something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I truthfully get it, but once again, part of the reason why it's going to be expensive, and I keep harping on this, is because I am almost positive that building has asbestos in it, and you have to do special things to remove asbestos. That's why the city left Bar 17 in shambles over there until Stan Pate bought it and decided to get rid of it himself. They just left it there.
But the city,
want to spend the money.
But the city didn't own that property. See, that's the difference, Mike. That was still private. That was private property sold to another private individual. But this is considered city property as of what we're talking about now at the Barnes Branch where I'm
seeing. You know what? The more we talk, the more I have questions. What happened with it? What's over there now?
Where?
I know he owns it, Stan owns it, but what is it? Where is it? What when they tore that down? What happened? What did they put over there? I can honestly say when I do pass through there, 15th Street or something like that on that part of town, I haven't even looked over there to see.
Oh, it's still nothing over there.
It's still vacant.
I think
it's still vacant.
He was still trying to figure out what to put over there that was going to be beneficial. The last I heard.
How much property is that? I mean, he owns it, so we can't put nothing there that he don't want there or he doesn't put there. But it's just I don't know why does everybody the West Side isn't important until something's up, and then it gets up and it's just stuck there. It's just, and I mean he's probably owned. And I know that we kind of like on the things that the city can do, but I'm just saying, just speaking us on that side of town, no matter who it is, it seems like they just go ahead and just say, well, it's just over there on the West Side at the end of the day.
Now, the way I understand it, and I'm not taking up the sandpaper by no means, but the way I understand it was, if he had bought the whole entire lot over there, he could have did a lot more, a lot faster. But it's because all those other small businesses are over there. He's kind of limited in the space that he can do things with, from what I understand.
I get what you're saying, but I would like for him to let us know something because those are type of business people like that. They think of those things beforehand. So now it's kind of like he's made the purchase, and people are wondering like, why did he just do that? You know, and it's just there. So I get what you're saying, Mike. It's sometimes you're limited to what you can do, but business people kind of look at all those look at those different perspectives beforehand. Because it seems like now it's just kind of just sitting there.
He'll probably be able to buy that other stuff from them people over there, and they weren't really to sell. It's some of that. But I don't know. Maybe we can get Stan on the air again and kind of get some updates pertaining.
Because I'm thinking I know he had some reasons, and it's probably like exactly what you said, Mike. But because it's like people don't tend to want to move. I mean, I know there's a little store over there now. And it used to be that little thing where people were just doing something like selling Mary Kay out there. So I'm like, why don't y'all want to get rid of that? You know, I think there's a store, dollar store. I don't know if that dollar store is still open there. Then they had opened up, but. I was just curious because it is sitting on the west side, and the more I think about it, I look at the location of the Y. Then I think about when we were young. Okay, you could just walk from the Y straight across the street, almost in the backyard of Central West, and then you down there in that little area. So it's like it makes me start to think maybe a bigger entity needs to start buying us on the west side, like a bigger entity. And people were so against saying, "Oh, the UA gonna do this, gonna do that." But maybe that maybe somebody, I mean, I'm not saying you ain't, but maybe a bigger entity does need to start looking into that because the property value over there, I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's not what it used to be. I know that. But I just started looking like, okay, this torn down. Now the Y's about to be empty. Just there are still some houses over there that I remember over there from when we walked to high school. But what about Florida Supermarket? What happened in that spot? I don't know if they built it, after the couple of fires or whatever. So it's just making me think everywhere you go on the west side, if you think of a landmark, you know how you think like back in the day when we were young, we used to think, you know what, if we was like say in Forest Garden, like, you know what, it won't take us that long if we think of when we get to this place and that place we will walk sometime from there to the Hughes Center because we'll think about landmarks and you make shortcuts. You come through the neighborhood. Like we might come across the street by Crystal and go through Forest Lake neighborhood. Next thing you know, we on the south side. So as kids, you walking and talking time fast. You on the south side, next thing you know, you at the Y. If you was going to a little dance on the Y. And you of course had to get around that. But what I'm saying is like nowadays most kids aren't walking anywhere, but you could walk somewhere and have landmarks and think, oh, it's not gonna take that long. But if you set out walking, say from Piggly Wiggly on Greenstreet Avenue, it's already a couple of houses that's been demolished. Y'all remember that sharps or whatever it used to be there? Then you come across the trash, then the Y be down. You go through the back Central West, then that little area is down and nothing's going on over there. And so it's just like every little every so far you go within the west side, it's like nothing. Until you get to the McDonald Hughes Center and then they got a YMCA right there in their yard when it could have stayed where it was or somewhere, at least put somewhere, within the west side is going to be right there. And I just, whatever their reasoning is, it's just the bottom line just seems like it's most feasible where it is. The tearing it down and the building it up seems like it's best served where it is.
Absolutely, because I just don't see the Y and Para teaming up to when the Y have its baseball game and Para doing their baseball tournaments also. And some they trying to work out some sort of schedule so the Y had their baseball games over there and Para not. Even though Para got baseball fields in several different places, I don't think that they'll be willing to give that up. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of conflict between the two entities, between the Y and Para. But you want to put them right there amongst each other, and basically, I get to hope that they're going to share things, such as the softball field.
I see Curtis says that asbestos removal is done every day. Part of it is to keep it wet when demolition if it can't be removed. Okay, I guess so. I don't know a lot about asbestos. I'm sure he knows that he's talking about, but I'm kind of following what he's saying. Like Mike said, it probably is a whole bunch of that and something and everything else, and you don't want that released to the community. So I'm sure there are ways for it to be treated. I just feel like money is money. Yeah, money is available.
That's why it don't pop in the air.
But like money is available for everything but the things that go on over there. So that's why I say seems like you might get to a point where some other big entity needs to start kind of buying up West Side property. A lot of times it's a lot of stuff over there is abandoned anyway. And not saying to make people move, but I'm just saying it's like, what is the city doing? Coming around saying what they're gonna do election time and then it's it's like frustration, disgusting. It's disgustingly frustrating, basically.
I think that some of the small businesses that are over on the west side, they like to keep their little buildings because, for most intents purposes, those buildings are not expensive. I don't think they charge very much for rent to rent those buildings. So to go somewhere else, they'd be paying probably twice as much, maybe three times as much for a space the same size. So they kind of want to hold on to what they have, but also you got to kind of look at it too. Like some of them probably having, all kind of problems with their pipes and electrical problems and AC problems, heating problems. I don't know, but it's not like you can see, and they got historical stuff downtown, of course, but if you go inside some of those places, you'll see what they did updates and on the inside of most of those places. So it's not the same. Yeah, I get it, and I'm for all them people keeping all their places. It's just like why our main focus is the YMCA. When I stray off of that because it seems like it's always an issue, whatever it is, to just upgrade or updo for that side of town. Mm-hmm. Whether it be the Y, whether it be the park, the pool, is always a something. It's always a reason not a reason to say no or a reason to do it in a ridiculous way.
Always,
Every
always.
time we talk to somebody, the mayor, and some of the city council people, the first thing they'll say about anything on the west side is, we have to fix the infrastructure over here before we can do anything on the west side. To which, I get irritated with that because I'm like, y'all don't fix the infrastructure before y'all go building stuff in other areas of town. Y'all build and fix the infrastructure as you go. So why can't you do the same thing with West Side?
Good question. Good question. Good question. We
And
talking.
it would make people want to move back over there. I mean, I have a family member that's like, I don't want to live on the west side. And even today, looking on the west side is not a bad area, College Park area. Just Washington Square, all those areas are not bad areas. And I just feel like the west side is big enough though to have two separate entities for the young people in the community. Because like I said, it don't just serve young people. The Y serves the community. There are a lot of things that go on in the gyms. It's just a lot of things that have just memberships and stuff like that. So why have them right there on top of each other? When the west side is actually big enough that all the kids shouldn't have to go to one location.
Q Chandler say it's racist, so just say that. We need to wake up. Okay. Once again, you can call and join the conversation. 310-6067-8267-661. What direction are we gonna take? I mean, what direction is it gonna go? I mean, I see no reports or whatsoever anything relating to it in relations to the
But it is what you said. But that's why it's so upsetting that all of this boils back to what? The majority. Mm. The importance of the majority. I can see Phil right now saying they take a vote. Okay, we're gonna just do this. We're gonna let the council decide. Do we put the Y here? He ain't got nothing to do. He ain't got nothing to do with the West Side, whether it be in the vicinity of Houston or the YMCA. And his children, grandchildren, whatever, wouldn't even be in that area participating in any activities anyway. No. Five. He'll find a reason. No. But he building up his and getting in it. He trying to get and little things like Mike said, a lot of stuff he ain't responsible for, but what he is, he can get. He trying to get it. 3 and 4. No, they never come even probably never they probably count the times they come that side of town. Some of the folks that come that side of town is they want some southern food. When they used to go to the Miss what's the name before she closed or Thomas. Meg. Yeah, Meg down here. Wasn't that one of the mayor's statements that they worked on the infrastructure? They did a lot of work on infrastructure in West Tuscaloosa when he was on the show that day. Because I remember asking him about it. He said something about they did something to they put a viaduct over there or something. I'm not exactly sure, but they still got to build up the west side infrastructure to be able to put businesses over there. But when you ask a question about incentives to come to the west side, he said that that falls upon the city council to offer those type of incentives. But the incentives on the west side
are better than most incentives anywhere else. So why is it that no businesses are trying to go over there on the west side? Unless it's
because he blocked it. He was blocking it from happening because he was blocking Stan Bank from doing this thing in West Tuscaloosa.
That's what I'm saying. Like we get something on one hand, and then on the other hand, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
We
See,
can't.
a lot of. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we can't keep on going this direction. Now I've said it more than one occasion that for most intent purposes, the West Side looked the exact same as when I was a young boy.
Oh yeah.
When I look now.
You put up a new Kansas court, yeah. Thank you. Really. You redid Martin Luther King for what, second time? You put up $100, which is closed down now. You did a smidge of something. So you did nothing major. Public wanted to come over there. Walmart wanted to come over there. Where people we can sit there now, but you blocked them both.
No, actually, Walmart wanted to go where Central West was it.
Yeah, but still, it's with you blocked them both. You stood in the way of that. You stood in the way of any kind of progress for real. And you made sure you allowed those to come in and build up from 10th Avenue back towards Veteran Memorial Parkway and down at Swan Boulevard. You made sure that area of town was prime for growth. But yeah, you come across that viaduct, you hit 18th Avenue, all you want to put up is a fire station. And that's supposed to be some improvement, which you tore out of church to do that. That's not the covering of all of Tuscaloosa. You tore down elementary school, just put a park up. That ain't improvement. You allow O'Reilly's to come close to the side. That's not growth. You did everything you need to do to keep new growth in that area and other areas of town, and on up Right Mountain Road, because that's those schools too. You made sure growth went elsewhere other than the West Side. You alienated. You made sure everything was alienated when it came to West Tuscaloosa and uh, South Side, all of them. You made sure stuff stopped when it came to South Side. You made sure it stopped. Because you consider that the West Side too. You didn't really consider that the South Side. But you made sure that stuff stopped right there. So, like you said, there hasn't been no new growth or nothing that has been put in West Tuscaloosa. The closest you'll get is the private schools that were put down at Capitol Park Apartments, and you shot the value on them so high, and the rent is just through the roof. So very few, if any, of us can afford to go live over there. I don't know anybody black that got $1,700 to $1,900 to pay for an apartment. Unless they're on the UA and they got 4 or 5 roommates. But just one individual straight out of pocket, you make sure that rent was through the roof. So you won't want to go try to get an apartment there, find somewhere decent to live. And that's as far as it went. But when you talk about the whole of West Tuscaloosa, all the way down the left, all the way back of Johnson Road, no, you ain't done it. When you're talking about all the way down there, back towards what is that behind Green Valley? What is it? It's Trailer Park back there. Another community back there too. I can't think of the name of it. But you haven't done it. But you got on them votes. You made sure you got them people down on the end of town to vote for you to get you back in office. But improvements, companies, wanting to come to Tuscaloosa, no. You ain't did that. You're now trying to buy up West End because you wanna add on to the Riverwalk. You actually want to put business down there. You want to run the people out of the country club down there. You want to buy out the Glen back there and run them folks out. And that's where your competition live at, back in the Glen. No, not the Glen, East Circle. That's what it's called. East Circle back there, back of West End. But you want to run all them folks out so you can go through there and rebuild stuff for the UA.
So, but basically, the YMCA is said to be in the yard of the McDonald Hughes Center. And honestly, it's little to nothing anybody can do about it but the community. And we've seen that when the community speaks out, they still don't listen.
That's true.
And that upset members of the community. Honestly, it upset some of the members of the community that they did listen to in districts 4 and in 3 that came out to speak about having a fair map. So now they've learned that even though they may have gotten what they wanted between districts, 1 and 4, they've hashed things out as they wanted, most notably 4. Well, there may be a time where they don't get it. And sometimes it is what it is. We can't always get what we want. But when it came to something being that fair and that legal, they took notice. And so with this YMCA thing, it wouldn't be illegal, but it is something for people to take notice of. The community needs to speak out. Do they truly want all that going on right there at the McDonald Hughes Center?
Veronica, to be honest with you, the thing that got me was when Daryl read that last week, and he said that it was a group of well, what did you call them, Daryl? Employees. What were they?
Talking to staff.
It wasn't even
staff members.
Yeah, the staff.
Mm-hmm.
To decide to go out and see where the best place to put a Barnes Frank YMCA at, and they made the decision and they took it back to the mayor. Really? Like, and I'm just saying, the staff works for the mayor. They get paid by the mayor. Really, they get paid by the city of Tuscaloosa. The mayor say, I really want to put this over and McDonald Hughes on.
And honestly, if you went and knock on the door of somebody across the street, do they know what's about to happen? What else is going to happen? Not whether they care or not, because people love to say people don't care. But do they really know? If you go into their whole neighborhood right across the street and ask them, do y'all know that the Y's about to be put here too? Some people have taken the attitude that they do what they want to do anyway. We ain't gonna see them till it's time for an election. Even when we talk to them and see them, they gonna lie because they go back when they get evicted and opposite do what they want to do.
A lot of people didn't took that approach.
So they don't even say anything, whether they like it or not. They don't say anything. They just go with it because they have no choice. Because as our 5 on our council has proven, they don't listen. 5 on the council plus the head one in charge, they don't listen.
Well, they say they listen.
Once his mind is made up, it is what it is, and that's always an irrational rationale for it.
But Veronica, I want to applaud you for something that I've never really paid no attention to. Even through this State of the Union, did you notice the Republicans that lean back, hands on the chin, no smile, no claps? Do we recognize those same people on city council sometimes?
Yes. Yes. So you want to tell me political affiliation doesn't matter? Yes, it does.
You've been saying that.
They take the same behavior. They use the same approach. They have the same thoughts and beliefs.
You've been saying that for a while, and I really just seen it, recognized it when I watched the State of the Union. You are so right. that same body gesture that so many of the Republicans carried out during that State of the Union, we see that locally right here. So that same affiliation sometimes.
Turning around in the chair, looking up in the air. First time, even not being on the city council, but over there acting like he been there forever, and he, usually you have an arrogance like that, you would think the person had been there for a minute.
Yeah.
Just became a member, and no matter what was through that, and even they sit there and say it during the time when we was having this, we was going to them about the redistricting. Party affiliation doesn't matter. We sit over here and do this, and it doesn't matter what you're telling us that you do. Because just like you saying you over there, you debating back and forth like this, for all we know, you over there eating cheese and coffee. I don't know. Because y'all aren't always, you're not transparent like you should be. And at the end of the day, those elected into office, the party matters because they take on the same demeanor and they're going to run your city with their attitude that they carry.
So that's right. Body language speaks louder than your voice will ever do. And when you pay attention to it, you'll learn more about that person than ever telling you about themselves.
Poor Ray asked why is Raven handling the Y business when it's in Matthew? It's because it's all bull crap. It's all hogwash. It was in his district, and all this started before he was elected. But still, why was she put on the committee? Why would the person receiving the facility be put on the committee?
Because to vote.
You know what I
Right.
can say, but I'm not gonna say.
And she was at city council. What tonight was? She was at the meeting today.
When I tuned in, I guess she had stepped out, but then I did see she came in when Reverend Lowes got on in and mentioned about the recycling location and how the city is running people out of their homes because of certain things happening to the homes and stuff. So
yeah, getting fined. You get fined for certain things that they tell you you're not supposed to do with your home. He said, but then this other stuff with these corporations is, take their time. Well, it's just like when they tell you, it's just like the landlord said you got so much time to move out. Mm-hmm. Well, if you got a big name in town, he'll probably let you take however long you want. But if you just a regular Joe Smoke trying to pay your bills, they all down there at the courthouse trying to get papers on you to get you up out of there.
Yeah.
It's fast track.
And so, and that was a point that Reverend Loud made on City Council today. That why does it only apply to the people of the community when enforcing these rules, and not to all the peoples of the community? So he made some valid points about that. Made some valid points. Once again, let's see. Q say most of them don't have a backbone and go along to get along. And let's see, start voting these people in. Why not ask the taxpayers? One, I have no idea. One thing I can't.
And honestly, I think we need to start looking at the agendas more so we can know, because like with that issue with the situation tonight, mm-hmm. I only caught his part, but I feel like he was kind of alone or didn't have much support. And it really doesn't matter which district you're in, because when right is right and wrong is wrong.
I think when there's not a real big hot topic for everybody to get in the uproar about, then there's nobody going to the city council meeting. And like Daryl said last week, they try to make it difficult for you to go to a city council meeting anyway. Because the elderly people that want to go to these city council meetings, a lot of them don't feel like they can make it over there. You got to park all the way in the parking deck and walk all the way across, so you can't just go on University Boulevard side. You just can't do it. They got the doors and everything locked. Like that's
It'd be taking somebody with a little bit more tech than me because I would just say, why y'all do this? Is like one of the dumbest things that y'all do. I was just, this is just so dumb. You have a city council where people can walk right in here with a metal detector right here and can go right up the stairs.
Or hit the elevator.
Right. And those who may be in a wheelchair can get on the elevator and go right upstairs. But you want them to go all the way over there to park up on these decks and walk a maze. Somebody up in there and get lost, have to spend the night. Don't let it be a Friday.
Q say, I sent the city pictures of those vehicles in District 2 at Liberty. That place looked like a dump. Yeah, I tell you. Well,
it's really about getting them up out of office and getting the right people in there.
I look at Tim James on here talking about he'll repeal the never ending gas tax increase. Or get in there and won't do nothing.
Yeah, I heard that new commercial. He's finally trying to attack KI.
Yeah.
And
then I'm glad that in fact, y'all know they hadn't played that her commercial again on her time call herself talk about bless Joe Hart. I said, man, she knows she ought to be shamed, sitting up there trying to I ain't even say nothing. So sometimes you just don't even need to say that. It's not bless Joe's heart. When you can't find nothing nice to say at all, she ain't gonna sit there. I'm like, I know she's trying to be sarcastic. These same people who sit there laughing with you, they be laughing at you too.
Yep.
yeah. As I saw that commercial, I simply asked, can somebody give her an oxygen tank? Because it's like she about to pass out then. But I'm just saying, that was how I saw it.
It took a lot for her to say it.
Look, you just don't say that kind of stuff about people.
No, you don't do that.
You don't, but the fact that this is a governor being so defiant against the president of the United States, like that's openly defiant against them, and then you're talking bad about them, and they everything, whatever Joe Biden want to do, we not gonna do. We automatically gonna go against. That's the wrong type of attitude to have. Period.
That's the Republican Party. Period.
I know, but to me, Aaron is one of those Republicans because we haven't seen a Democratic candidate on TV as of yet. I haven't seen one personally, but they're all telling you basically they don't care nothing about the African Americans in Alabama. If you ask me, they don't care nothing about because hey, we all standing behind Trump. Whatever Trump want to do, that's what we gonna do, and whatever Trump say, that's how I support Trump. And they feel in their heart of hearts that, well, y'all black folks ain't coming out to vote no way, so we don't care.
That's basically what America said. He wasn't even supposed to be a part of it, talking about no redistricting, talking about his campaign, his information from his last campaign showed that we don't come out to vote. And basically, when he fed Reagan that hogwash to read off, so it would basically mean we would lose our majority. We would become even more of a minority on the council. First of all, should have been using your data anyway. Secondly, who are you to say black people won't vote in the future? Who are you to predict the future?
I think that we should go ahead and hit them in the mouth. All the black people in the city of Tuscaloosa was to go out and vote the next election. Then we'll vote for him. You know what I'm saying? That would make him. Because the fact of the matter is, every time we do get out and go and vote, it usually is in the presidential election, but when we go out in droves and vote, there is a change that goes on.
A difference is made, and that's why they're trying to stop all us from voting now. That's why they're changing these votes. That's why they're doing what they're doing now. Because when we do, a change is made.
Yeah. So, but let's think about it. If you got so roughly it's going to be about 17,000 people in District 7. So if you can get 17,000 people to vote in District 7, you can elect a mayor from District 7.
Just by yourself.
Just by
You
themselves.
sure can.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been saying. Get them out the office. We can get some things done.
Well, we all been saying that, but we gotta get the logistics and let him know.
Well,
It's election money. That's all they've been doing.
And I think he really truly think that people only look at the numbers that he put forth. People like Raven, yeah. Let's work for her to do that.
That's because she come in and hey, here you go.
And take false
She don't do
information.
no leg work at all.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
She
might
might
call
do
good.
other stuff.
She might call a cousin. Hey, what you think about this? And that means that one cousin just spoke for the whole community of black people in her district. And the cousin don't even live in her district.
well, one thing we did mention, or
I
someone
ain't gonna say
mentioned,
what I want to say right then.
some people mentioned, if you're planning
Somebody
on,
living in the district.
if you plan on being on the campaign trail in 2025, you need to start campaigning now. You need
Right.
to, you need to,
At this very moment.
you need to decide what side of the track do you want to be on. You gonna be on the go along side, or is you gonna be a person that's gonna want to make a difference and make some changes? Because to go along the get along side, you ain't guaranteed to get in. You ain't guaranteed to get in. But if you're a person of showing interest and doing things and want to make a change, you're not guaranteed to get in. But at least people understand where you're coming from, and people are looking for something new.
And don't come here talking about race don't matter and political affiliation don't matter. Because race matters. That's why we were having the issue that we had this last time.
Yes.
It matters. Be honest and real. Quit covering your eyes just to not hurt feelings or not to step on toes. A lot of people feel like they step on toes. Well, if I step on toes, I ruin my chances. Maybe you do. But the chances for other things are still there.
And people know you stand for stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
Instead of falling for any and everything.
Going along to get along. It goes along to get along. Don't forget about this weekend, y'all. Want to go ahead and mention about the events taking place down in Selma this coming weekend. Matter of fact, and it's supposed to be great weather. Let me go ahead and I got my.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be knocking on 80 degrees this weekend. And it ain't gonna be no rain, so
right.
this
NAACP.
weekend go out and do some stuff.
Well, you know, the crossing of the bridge presentation down in Selma, all that's going on this coming weekend. I got my NAACP newsletter came with me. I know she emailed me. Hold on. Where is it? I think this will be, and I plan on being there. And I do want to apologize to Reverend McCoy for this Saturday for the men's being men convention, because my little grandbaby, they just couldn't make it work on time for some reason, and I ended up staying there a little bit longer than I imagined I had to. So I want to apologize to him, and I'm gonna try to get him on the program this Thursday, just to kind of give us an update how things went. Now I know
I hope that he does it again and kind of let us know a little earlier when it's gonna happen, so we can get that word out a lot earlier than the day before or the day or two before.
Right. You're absolutely right. Okay, I found the announcement. Let's see. March 4th, Montgomery, the 2022 Selma Bridge Crossing Gala will be held at the Embassy Suites Hotel and Conference Center in Montgomery March the 4th from 7 to 10 p.m. Each local branch has asked to purchase a table for the gala at a price of $400. The branch currently has 5 tickets available at $50 per ticket. Please contact Miss Lisa Young if you're interested in purchasing a ticket on that. Let's see. Here was a whole link, I thought, in relation to that. It was. We're gonna talk about this coming March 26th. There's gonna be an Africa Ball on March 26th. And we're gonna try to get more information on that. Well, where is it? Oh, okay, here it is. Bridge Crossing. It's the 57th annual Selma Bridge Crossing Jubilee. Event scheduled Thursday. They have some things going on. Mass meeting from 7 to 9 at Tabernacle Baptist Church on Broad Street. Then on Friday they have the golf tournament and education summit, mock trial. Then Saturday, Foot Soldiers Breakfast, Jubilee Parade, Battle of the Band, Intergenerational Hip Hop Summit, and Jubilee Street Festival. All that's going to take place from this coming weekend, and then they're having a voting issues workshop from 4 to 5, and then Freedom Flame Awards Gala that's going to be held at the George Evans Building, 2 Lawrence Street, Selma, Alabama. Tickets for that are $50 per person, or $500, or $1,000 per table. Sunday, March the 6th, they got the King Unity Breakfast at 7 a.m. to 9:30 at Wallace College in Selma. Sunday morning services at Tabernacle Baptist Church in Clinton Chapel, Brown Chapel Church, and First Baptist Church. Then they have the induction into the Legal Guardian Hall of Fame. Then from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., the pre-march rally at Brown Chapel AME Church at 410 Martin Luther King Street. And then from 2 to 3, Fight for the Vote March and Rally starting from Brown Chapel over Edmund Pettus Bridge. And then after that, from 4 to 6:30, they have a gospel concert and bridge awards. Foot of the Pettus Bridge on Water Avenue featuring Brian Courtney Wilson and Jasmine Williams and other. Tickets $10 donation are free with Saturday festival attendance. So a lot of things going on this weekend in Selma for the 57th annual Bridge Crossing Jubilee, and it's commemorating the 57th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, the Selma to Montgomery March, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So this Sunday, the weather is expected to be really well, and I've never experienced it, so I've put it on my calendar to be there, and I'll probably, hopefully, be able to broadcast some of it from Selma. But this will be a great experience if you've never been. Um, I've heard about it, but I've seen it on television. But I'm going to be a participant this particular weekend in Selma of crossing the Pettus Bridge in Montgomery. Well, in Selma to Montgomery. So if you're not busy, this will be a great opportunity to come out and be a part of history. So if you ain't doing anything, say about Selma from Tuscaloosa, about an hour and 15 minutes maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
hour and a half at the most.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you leave right after church, most churches get out now about 10. Well, if you go to 8 o'clock service, you're out by 9:30, and just head on down to Selma and experience the events that are taking place and going on right there in Selma, Alabama. So I'm planning on being there if nothing happens, and especially with the weather supposed to be great. Let's see some of these other comments. To create a trail, she should have. Oh, South Line Vice President Kamala Harris is speaker at the bridge cross. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. He said Kamala Harris would be there. I didn't know. They didn't say nothing on the thing about that. That's gonna be interesting. So yeah, I plan on being there, y'all. If you're not doing anything, hey, come on down to Selma, Alabama, and experience Bloody Sunday. This will be my first time. Now I'm gonna just say this. They say Selma just ain't no crime free town around here now. So
No, it's not.
I'm just gonna say that. So be prepared if you have to. I ain't talking about no KKK. I'm talking about the BBB beating you up around there. So our own brother mankind, from my understanding, the crime rate down there ain't no joke. So
Yes, sir.
so be careful. Be careful when you go there. You gotta be careful. Well, look, I know we started late, and the more and more. Oh, let me see. Al Sharpton is at Brown Chapel. Wow, it's gonna be a lot of guest speakers and popularity personnel. I know one year they had Oprah Winfrey down there. So
that's when they shot her.
So we now.
That's when they shot Selma down here.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if they plan on shooting any movies this particular time, but I think it'll be a great experience. I think I'm gonna take my older grandkids, not the babies, my them teenagers, and let them experience some of this too. Uh, See how history was made right here in Alabama and Selma. Then come back.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Curtis on the phone.
Go ahead, Curtis.
Yeah, good day. What like I said, too, that it's awesome event if you have a band and everything. And I would even just tell you, it's really worthwhile getting it going down and baptizing your own churches because the churches, all those four churches have a program going on, and you can, really enjoy the church service down there and be in a different environment, seeing the fellowship and the conversations that take place. And I would tell you, that the parking, you always use that for side parking, but it's amazing for that weekend where, like most times they get crying, but the people have a difference. Everybody's got a little hustle mode going down there. So you see folks cooking and doing stuff and hustling from selling that stuff, but people just overall just pretty easy to get along. So like I said, it's not like people think it would be crime wise, and because there's a lot of people there, and and everybody turns up and turn out and everything. But you will really enjoy it. I've been several times now, and I'm planning on going myself to something because you know, the information that you gather, the thoughts and the people that you get a chance to see and talk with, and just overall pride that you see is nothing like that journey. If you take the march and march from the church all the way to the bridge and cross the bridge and just be able to, when you turn and go into the bridge and look at all the folks that are in front of you, and when you get on the bridge, look and see all the folks both ways and stuff, it's just awesome, experience. And if you can't walk, just standing on the side watching people. But it was, I've gained many valuable insight, and it's a lot of things happening. So I would just tell you to take the time, just wear good shoes because it's a lot of walking, involved. So you walk one place, then you got to turn around and walk back and get to your car wherever you're at. So that's the only thing I would just say. Just wear your some tennis shoes. Don't worry about being cute. Just put you something that's going to be comfortable and do it for the duration, but you have a great time and everything.
Well, good. I appreciate it.
And as I said, they got, of course, being the state of Alabama with Secret Service detail, they waited to the last minute to announce Vice President, come Harris. And actually, the President Biden wanted to come, but given everything that we got going on right now with the national thing dealing with Russia and stuff, he did not, he wasn't able to make it. But Vice President Harris will be there, and who knows? You may get a chance to see, you may get a chance to see another president. It's interesting that those people that when President Obama showed up there, and he wasn't one of the big time guests at that time. Everybody at that time was wooing, Hillary Clinton, and Barack was a little favorite when he showed up down there during that time. And a few folks would, look on, he went on and became president. So I was just telling those type of things that has happened over a period of time. So, just take time to enjoy it. Just once, because like for some folks, it's just a once in a lifetime, and there are people that come from all over the United States. So I would just tell just to take that time to go. Even I would advise that breakfast that starts off at Wallace Community College in the morning. That's something great to be in attendance of. So there's a lot of great things happening all that day. So I would tell you, it's the earlier you get down there to enjoy and participate, the more you'll come back with a story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me, because I had my intentions to be in Selma, Alabama this coming Sunday, and get some of that experience.
Yeah, it's tremendous, and like I said, I'm talking about there's people from everywhere, all black and white, everybody together, different places, and you see a lot of folks, from Tuscaloosa and all, and one of the things that I hope, that more that our black churches would do, and I know it's late for this year, but hopefully that, they could really start taking some of our youth down to that. I know Baylor Tabernacle always participates with a good youth group from Tuscaloosa, bringing them down. But it's really something great, and you're talking about giving our kids opportunity to see history and be part of history, and they get it's kind of like taking a field trip. You gain a lot more insight to just being there. You know what I'm saying? Just the experience and everything. And I had the privilege. Was it last year? I think it was last year. No, it wasn't last year. The year before last. That to go down and share with my son, who was actually a senior, I think senior in high school. But we went down and went to the breakfast, and he wanted to make sure to stay in and do the bridge crossing, and we did that, and I did that with him. And just such an honor, but such a tremendous thing, because here's something kids hear about, but really have the opportunity to see that bridge and understand it, and put it in complex, of what it was like, and many years ago was just unbelievable and everything.
Right.
So take some young person with you if you can.
I plan on taking my granddaughters for sure.
That's awesome. But anyway, that's what I was telling y'all. Just keep up the great work. Y'all doing a great job. I'll look to sit down with y'all soon. But, as we consider, and I thank y'all for not letting the complex issues sit silently, and nobody tackles them. A complex problem can be solved. You just got to dissect it and work on it like you're doing. And we got many problems that are being delivered in complex, made in our community. And the thing that I wish that these decisions I wish they were being made with us, still are on us. And that's the problem that we face with a lot of times. It's a difference between we making a decision with you. You're involved. But the fact is that most times these decisions are being made on us with no involvement, no input. That's what's so sad.
That's true.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you.
And then they call it a hot topic. It's not a hot topic if it's shared information within information becomes relevant.
Well, I know, but they don't want to share the information because they know the reaction to the information being shared.
Right. But then when they get the reaction, it's a hot topic.
Right. They got to get some folks that they know are gonna go along with them on their side, give them tell a lot to the community, and the busting on the community. That's what that's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. As you said, everybody knows, that the McDonough Hughes Center is not big enough for two uh, major buildings. If you're gonna do the Barnes Branch YMCA right, which means a new gym and facilities and stuff like that, there's no room on that campus for that building.
Nowhere.
If it's even identical to what it's got now, there's no room. Not enough room to talk about. You just look at the parking lot. The parking lot ain't that big.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We said last week that it's probably going to look a whole lot like the Dollar General back there in West End. It's going to be about 4 or 5 bricks in the front, and it's going to be some aluminum siding on the side, a little warehouse that they're going to build up and swear that they done spent $4 million on it. Yeah, like that $1 million they spent on the McDonough Hughes Center for the playground and stuff. It was they claimed to spend $1.5 million and didn't spend $800,000. Well, the other $750,000. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Supposed to be spending about $60 million now.
We never actually see the books of what they actually spend, but they just tell us what they spent.
Well, $60 million supposed to have been going that way when Elevate Tuscaloosa first came out, but don't look like $60 million gonna go that way now.
Well, and they don't even want to talk about that matter. So that we got it in black and white.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We
knew that was a tale when they first talked about it, because how could you talk about creating that type of facility if you wouldn't ever do anything to fix the roads over there? To bring that type of traffic in and out your community requires you to have sufficient transportation. Because if you ever went to Fair Park Arena, the events that take place up there and everything, and you notice what they got, you got 4 lanes coming from the interstates. It's 4 lanes, highway from the interstate. It's Bessemer Superhighway is 4 lanes, and the road coming across there is 4 lanes. And if you ever been up there for a major event, getting into that travel wise takes a lot of time. And just think, everything we got coming to that side, if we was there, was only 2 lanes, but never been any comments made about we're going to improve the roads. The Martin Luther King Boulevard or Calusa Avenue, none of that was ever talked. That's what we knew. And again, there was just a shell game being played just to make something happen. And that's the type of stuff that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's never been, but and my challenge, of course, is how much is being spent in West Tuscaloosa? $25. Right. And that's probably how you been spent.
Well, the expansion of Martin Luther King to the amphitheater probably the most money been spent in West End in decades, 3 decades more than likely.
I agree.
Just that little.
But that's not elevating money on that. That's not elevating money that's being spent there.
Well, I'm just saying, right, and that's coming from what commission tax or some kind of
right, the road
commission. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, and that's just one block. They ain't even concentrating on anything across Stillman Boulevard. They just concentrating right there.
Right.
Because it connects. What that does, it connects the Western Riverwalk with Saving Center, and that's setting a standard for that location right there. Anything past that, you can keep looking like what you look like, West Side Detroit. So liquor stores, tobacco stores, small business stores. As long as it can stay on that side, it's fine.
I'm just waiting to see the railroad proof.
That I can't answer.
I think we waiting to see a lot of stuff.
We can't. We. I think we spending. I think we spending
Because
more than.
imagine you got a railroad track that's responsible for moving steel from Nucor, moving petroleum products from Hunter, moving tires from BF, moving shingles from what I call the Elk Roofing and other roofing company. With demands and understands this as fuel prices, diesel fuel prices go up for trucking, it makes rail shipping a lot more affordable. When do you think, railroad crossings and train locations, you just can't build a temporary detour,
No.
You just think about what it takes to keep, a train on the track and what it takes to do construction, will the railroad company who operates on their own separate laws, will they actually close that track down and let that and have it out of commission? Track, they have spent millions and millions on upgrades so they can haul steel and move goods and stuff. Let's see how long and look at all with oil prices and demand for petroleum at an all-time high that they're going to close them down. That's going to be an interesting one to wait on. Because it's not the trend. Right now they have needed to move those goods and services. Steel prices are premium right now. That's when the whole issue about closing down Liberty Recycling is a question because Liberty Recycling, supplies Nucor Steel. And regardless of what folks say and they think, that's a major employer, that's a major industry that we can't afford to shut down. That won't be shut down. So, Liberty Recycling is building, my understanding from somebody that they had bought a shredder from another place that's much bigger and stuff that they are assembling and putting up right now. Old shredder still, but they still don't, continue to bring in and where folks haul in cars and stuff like that will continue to take place at the Liberty Recycling. And down now, where they will be bringing in vehicles like from Mississippi, steel things from Mississippi, from Birmingham, places like that. Folks that make these deliveries to them, that's where they will ship out goods in and stuff and shred them up and send them on out to Epps. I mean, out to Nucor Steel. Because people don't know right now that there's a big demand that they can hardly keep keep Nucor supplied right now for the demand. It's a big deal. Because steel prices are all time high right now.
Yeah, that's what JoJo, the guy that was on the on the State of the Union from Philadelphia. What was the name? The president called his name JoJo.
Right, the steel guy. Yeah, all time high. Big demand. And and that's and if you deal with the construction business, you would know these builders will tell you, steel is in the last year or so, the price of steel has been, and folks will actually have had orders, and that they will not cancel the order, but they cancel the contract price and say, hey, we can't sell it to you for this. If you want it, this is what the new price you're gonna pay. It's an all-time high right now.
Yeah, Joseph. I want to make sure I get his name right. Joseph Burgess. They called him Joseph JoJo Burgess, steel worker. He was a guest for Joe Biden's wife that was sitting in the. If people didn't know, that's who that black guy was that was sitting in the special guest. I just put it that way.
Right. And see, in the steel making process nowadays, just think about it, it's big different from the way it used to be. It is no longer where they use a coal fired furnaces and deal with. It's all electric furnace. It's a big arch game, and it's all recycled. So they take. That's why they don't use iron ore and go through all that smelting process and stuff like that. All they do now is get a bunch of steel. That's where you get tires. They shred the tires up and put it in there. And when they put it in there and run that hot furnace, it burns those impurities off, and they use it for slag and stuff like that. But most folks don't realize that ST Bonds every day run several trucks from Newport, hauling stuff to their asphalt plant, and they incorporate that stuff in that road building material, the waste product. So that's what we're dealing with, that's the technology that we're dealing with, and people need to go ahead and let everybody know what the real truth is and stop playing shell games.
Well, we're gonna see soon and very soon. We will see what's gonna become.
Thank y'all, gentlemen. Enjoyed it. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you,
All right,
thank you, thank you.
thank you for calling.
Once again, we're gonna take it up on our Mike. I tell you, the night show, tonight show, is weird. Almost turned into the Tonight Show.
Yeah, you right.
Sometimes these conversations get so intense. Sometimes it turns into the Tonight Show. But once again, I would love to have a nighttime talk show here locally, and I think it will do very well. Um, but this is done. This is great. This is fantastic. People that want to chime in can chime in, and I just see more avenues of broadcasting, bringing in more people, more conversations. But it's almost 11 o'clock. It's almost 11 o'clock. Veronica, as always, we appreciate you doing what you do and keeping us abreast of so many the COVID situation. And you noticed that the president wasn't wearing a mask. I saw one guy did have a mask still on.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that. I listened to see what was going on, but they said that everybody had to be tested. I think within 24 hours of tonight, and 4 Democrats tested positive.
Oh,
But who's to know if the other ones even tested? Because we already know their attitudes.
right.
Because the media even said, as far as they know, those that came were tested, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But who will admit, who will take the test and usually readily admit they took their test.
Is somebody
It's
asleep?
not the PPP.
Wait a minute. Wait. If we got somebody asleep on the phone.
Also,
We got somebody asleep on the phone.
Kai went to sleep, y'all.
Kai, get off my...
On his phone snoring. I was like, wait a minute, I wasn't gonna say that. I said, no, I can't let that go. No, he's snoring.
It's time to hit the sack too, y'all. Go ahead, Mike. Say you know. I hung up on him, y'all. I went on and hung up on him.
Please doing that favor because he just showed out tonight.
Yes.
I said, no, wait a minute. I said, now somebody's snoring. And I know it ain't
at
my
first,
phone.
I thought it was
there because both of them talk.
I
know it ain't me. And Curtis hung up the phone.
I thought it was the microphone for a minute. I'm looking around to see what's going on. Then I heard that.
I was looking at stuff too, and I said, somebody eating ice.
Oh my! Paula said, "Wake your butt up." That sounds like it's time to go. We're gonna get on him. We're gonna get on him Thursday anyway. We'll get on him Thursday. Yeah, he knew it would pass his bedtime after 9:30 anyway.
Everybody else get on out the phone. You don't hear him saying that. I can tell you, you don't hear Lisa, she sleep.
Yeah.
She done got off the phone.
Yeah.
Mike was tired. He done got off the phone. Kind of sat here and started snoring on his phone.
Oh man. We'll get on him Thursday, y'all. Hey, y'all have a great.
Wake him up, put that CPAP on him, because if he's snoring like that, you gonna have.
Yeah, I think he look, whoever wasn't watching him, because he sure didn't have it on right then. But look, we'll talk Thursday, y'all. We'll continue Thursday, and we'll go from here.
Okay.
Y'all have a
Okay, y'all. I don't know why I just got so tilted. I think I still got tickled again over that last time.
That was.
This would sound like a truck.
Yes. Y'all have a good evening, y'all.
All right.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all.
Get your event jumping with Caroline Shines and Impulse Band. Impulse Band has been together for over 7 years, and they haven't missed a beat yet. The band has and will play in various venues and doesn't mind traveling to you. Being led by Alabama Blues Hall of Famer herself, Mrs. Caroline Shine. Impulse has opened up for Bobby Rush, L.J. Eccles, Tank, Fantasia, Calvin Richardson, just to name a few. The Impulse Band will surely fit your need for entertainment. Dial 205-887-6859 or 205-887-5026. Or you can just email them at shinesbrightly@yahoo.com. Caroline Shines and Impulse, the band made just for you.